Black Myth Wukong was kind of a weird situation to watch. I haven't played the game. I might eventually. It's pretty far down in my backlog, I admit. But I thought it was really interesting how much weird console warring there was surrounding Black Myth Wukong. Because, like, it wasn't first party to anyone, but it also didn't launch on the Xbox because of some technical issues that apparently arose with the Series S version, which caused the Xbox version as a whole to be delayed, and then the game ended up being really big and successful, so the whole situation turned into a giant console war because Xbox dudes were like, hey, where's the game? And PlayStation dudes were like, mwahahaha, you don't have the game. And meanwhile, the PC was absolutely carrying this game and just not even really thinking anything of it. So it was just this really weird situation where this third-party critically acclaimed game was being used heavily in the console war for several months, all the while the console wasn't even where the game was primarily successful. And a few days ago, I made a video basically about the fact that PlayStation dudes love to act like they're these gigantic, like, supporters of games and that the gaming industry would crumble without them, and like if you don't launch your game on the PlayStation, then you don't make any money, and also if you launch your game on the PlayStation as well as other platforms, that's stupid because PlayStation gamers buy enough games to support every one of the exclusives. And then, much to my not surprise, this information came out the other day about how hilariously lopsided the Black Myth Wukong sales were between the console and the PC. Just how lopsided are we talking here? Well, according to the reports, about 80% of the copies of this game were sold on the PC. 80%. And you may say, Joe, this is stupid to talk about because this is a third-party game. Who cares about the platform breakdown of the sales on a multi-platform third-party game? The fact that we're talking about this is so stupid, Joe. What are you doing here? To which I would respond, I didn't want to talk about this. I wasn't even thinking about this. We're only talking about the sales platform breakdown in a console warring light because you made it that way. No one said you had to use Black Myth Wukong in the console war. No one said you should use Black Myth Wukong in the console war, but you chose to use it in the console war. You chose to parade Black Myth Wukong around as a PlayStation console exclusive. You chose to hold it over the Xbox guys' heads for literal months. And now, here we are with this. I just want to know what's the excuse? You guys hoisted this thing up like crazy. You guys were treating it like a PlayStation exclusive, like an actual, like, proper PlayStation exclusive, and you couldn't even manage to buy a quarter of the copies. Y'all, what are we doing here? So if you thought my previous video on the fact that PlayStation fanboys don't actually buy games, if you thought that video was wild, get ready for this video, because a bunch of them tried to justify this little stat, and they did a really bad job. And again, I don't want to use Black Myth Wukong in the console war. I don't want to do this. I recognize how stupid this is, but we wouldn't be here if you hadn't started it. You see how that works? I'm going to make you look stupid in a way that I would never have even thought of doing if you hadn't started this. So I don't want to hear anyone in the comments be like, Joe, you're being so petty right now. Joe, this is so stupid. I know it's stupid. That's why we're making the video. You chose to be here. Let's begin. LGM responds to the news and says, quote, but PC gamers don't buy games. Fernando responds and says, outside of China, they don't. In China, don't have pre-added games. And I'm going to type on your behalf because you decided to enter an argument when you can't even type fucking words. What he means here is that outside of China, people don't buy games on the PC, and the reason why it sold well in China is simply because in China, there's no game piracy. Did you know that? That's fascinating news. I had no idea. Because that's not true. There is absolutely game piracy in China. I don't even know how you're trying to make it seem like there isn't. But also, are we really about to do the thing where we say PC gamers don't buy games while staring at evidence that PC gamers buy games? But let's just look at the news here again. So 30% of the total player base is outside of China, okay? That means this game sold 7.5 million copies outside of China. 80% of the game sales were on PC, and about 20% were on the PS5. Do you see where I'm going with this? Also, the fact that this game was a top seller on Steam in every single region for weeks on end clearly PC gamers outside of China were buying the game. Clearly that is what happened. But you're actually making the argument that outside of China, PC gamers didn't buy it. And the only reason they did buy it in China was because piracy isn't available in China. Which is not true, but is also ridiculous that you're even trying to suggest that that's what happened here, because you're suggesting that millions upon millions of PC copies were bought in China, suggesting that all of those millions of people would have pirated the game. This was a mainstream success, but you think all of the normies, all of the mainstream PC gaming normies, would have pirated the game if they could. But since they couldn't, those millions upon millions of pirates decided to pay full price instead. You think the pirates made an exception for this game because, can't pirate this one. Guess all of us better buy it. Like, that's just so clearly not how this works. Oh, but Fernando was on a roll. He was really doing his best to make sure it seemed like PC gamers didn't actually buy the game that PC gamers bought, because apparently this matters to you. Again, I wouldn't be making this video if people like you weren't doing this. This whole thing is your fault. He responds to the news itself and says, so outside of China, the games sell 5 million on PS5 and 2 million on PC. Lol, PC player outside of China really don't help much. PS5 all the way. So now you're agreeing that PC gamers outside of China bought the game because you just concede here 2 million, and then you say PC gamers don't help much. So are we suggesting that 2 million copies is like nothing? That's like insignificant? Because you say PC gamers didn't help much outside of China, but then you also said 2 million people bought the game on PC outside of China. So are we saying that 2 million copies of a game, that's like an insignificant amount of copies? Interesting. I'm sure you'll keep this same energy next time a PlayStation game sells 2 million copies. Except you're not going to keep that same energy, and everyone knows it. But just remember this, next time PlayStation dudes are boasting about copies sold for PlayStation games, just remember, 2 million copies on the PC, like, that might as well have not even happened. That's so insignificant. But 2 million copies on the PlayStation, golly gee, that sure is impressive. Those PlayStation guys sure do buy those video games. PC gamers don't, though, even though they did the exact same thing. Because something China, I guess. George Ribeiro says 20 million on PC? Tripster, we all love him, responds and says only because consoles are banned from China. Ah yes, consoles are banned in China. Look at how effectively banned the consoles are in China. Look at that. There are no consoles in China. You amaze me. Every time, Tripster. Every time, you amaze me. I distinctly remember you guys boasting about the fact that Sony's really happy about their expansion into the Chinese market, but now, when it's convenient, we forget that happened, I guess. So, Sony's doing really well with PlayStation sales in China, but also, consoles are banned in China, so don't talk about how PC gamers bought the game more than we did. This is fun. This is productive conversation. Really great stuff happening right now. Puerto Rock 77 says Black Myth Wukong sold 25 million copies, 30% of the sales were outside of China, 7.5 million. PS5 makes up 20% of the sales, 5 million. Since the PS5 has a low footprint in China, those 5 million sales are most likely outside of China. Logically speaking, PS5 makes up the majority of the 7.5 million sales outside of China with 5 million sales. Man, we're real confident in this, aren't we? We're really like working overtime to make sure we establish that PC gamers don't buy games outside of China. We're working really hard. Except, ooh, how awkward it is that Nate then responded to you and says they say it was over 2 million sales on the PS5 in China alone in August when the game had 3 million sales total on PS5. Dang, swing and a miss there. I love that. Just like you see this news and then you immediately spring into action with a quote tweet to explain how the news isn't actually properly like displaying the news. Here's how the news is actually supposed to be portrayed, but you didn't even do it right. You say that the PS5 primarily made up the sales outside of China, but then your numbers aren't even in sync with what the developers said about PS5 game sales inside and outside of China. You're trying to twist the news into a narrative, but you didn't have the forethought to fact check your own narrative. Like, it's just that unfathomable to you that PC gamers buy games. It's just unfathomable to you that maybe PlayStation dudes don't buy games as much as you say you do. And again, we wouldn't be making this argument that you don't buy games if you didn't enter the ring this way. We wouldn't be talking about the platform breakdown of Black Myth Wukong's sales if you didn't start this. If you don't like it when people make fun of you for making an ass out of yourself, perhaps you should stop making an ass out of yourself. It is entirely within your ability to not make an ass out of yourself. In fact, I would recommend it. You will appear much smarter and more respectable this way. Retro quote tweets the news and says, PlayStation gamers don't buy games. Am I doing this right? Because remember, whenever the PC version of a game doesn't sell as much as the console version, it's all, PC gamers don't buy games. They pirate all the games. So, you know, when PC gamers buy the shit out of the multi-platform game, that means PlayStation gamers don't buy games, right? Right? That's how this works, right? Villain Street responds with a picture of his physical game collection. It says, I saved that for a reason. He really goes ahead and makes that stupid statement. And then his picture is captioned, easily debunked his claim, PlayStation gamers don't buy games. Let's see, his stack. Can PC Filts even have a physical collection? Because apparently, unless your collection of games is physical, that means you just don't buy games at all? Like, you don't spend money on games unless they're physical games? Is that the argument you're making? Because that sounds like the argument you're making, but that's also just a fucking stupid argument that no one should be making because it's dumb. Also, are you suggesting that you've never bought a digital game ever? Because I mean, if you only buy physical games ever and that's your entire game collection, I mean, I could easily turn this argument around by pointing out that you haven't actually played or owned that many games if that's your entire collection of all time. You know what I'm saying? You may not own all the digital games that you buy, and that is absolutely a huge problem, never gonna deny that, but that doesn't mean you didn't financially support them just because they're not physically in your closet. Retro responds and says, this is literally a joke that you got offended by, and then WebDJ responds, but PC beggars not buying games isn't a joke. Most of y'all are shit-eating third worlders. I love how mature and level-headed the PlayStation community is, you know? PlayStation gamers yell about PC gamers not buying games, PC gamers being like horrible gamers, they don't support the developers, they never buy games, they pirate all the games, they steal all the games. And then a developer comes out and is like, hey, by the way, PC gamers were buying the shit out of our games, thanks for doing that. And the PC gamers are like, haha, look at that, we do buy games. And now you guys are just flipping out and calling us shit-eating third worlders. You're looking at evidence that PC gamers bought the shit out of a game, and you're saying PC gamers don't buy games still. Also, you're shit-eating third worlders. Please take us PlayStation gamers seriously. Please hold our opinions with high regard, because we are definitely mature contributors to this economy and this gaming marketplace. PC gamers buy the shit out of games. I hate to break it to you. If they didn't buy the shit out of games, every company wouldn't be trying to get us to buy their games on the PC. PC gamers buy games just like how you console kids buy games. The only difference is that we buy them with our own money and you buy them with your stepdad's. If you don't want us to make fun of you for being idiots, stop being idiots. Toodles. Oh my goodness, hi, it's time for the Doofus Club shoutouts. I do Doofus Club shoutouts at the end of all of my videos where I shout out every single member of the Doofus Club, which is 99 cents a month and it comes with some emojis. Here's the thing, I'm currently traveling, which means videos up until March 5th are going to be recorded sometime in advance, which means I cannot update the Doofus Club shoutouts at the end of the video. So here's what we're going to do. I'm recording this Doofus Club on Wednesday, February 26th. The following will be the shoutouts for the Doofus Club as of February 26th. And then the return of the actual up-to-date Doofus Club shoutouts will come back around March 5th, March 6th when I get back into town. Which means you have until March 5th, March 6th when I get back into town to make your name as dumb as humanly possible. You have some time to think about this until I record a new one, so when I get back, when I sit down, I want to see some of the dumbest names I have ever seen in my entire life. Consider this your homework assignment, alright? Okay, here's the Doofus Club shoutout as of February 26th. I love you all. Henthai, Ex Machina Gamma, One Man Riot, Fill Me Up, Et Omega, Gabba P, Fire Hazard 105, Ultima Jack, Epion 504, EK, Anurag Gupta, Binary Deviant, Zombie Fan, if you read this, you gay, Klepto Penguin, Raptor 1, Bisevnishny, Partial Mean 8, Wild Gamer 3001, GWXSS, Frito Sandwich, Doom Kaiju, Rasp the Wolf, Evan Code, Sad Freighter, OK Toodles, Tech Gaming, Jungle Zone, Slim Jim, Carlos Josue, Hernandez, Jaramillo, Really Zer Gaming with Dead People, Better Fondue, All Games Video, Mad Rocks 2682, Neon Alec, Max Killer V2 Gaming, Biscuit 111, Yoggster, Horizon Forbidden West Remastered, Pope Raphael the Racking, Jessica Shepard, Joe, I Changed My Mind, Windows and Android for the win, Riki Spiral, Riki Tiki Tabby, Muskie, Tech Manix, Joe, please throw me into the San Francisco Bay, Kareem the Steel Angel, Joe Mama will steal your liver in 14 days, Smash Jump, Sergeant Jason Bond, Baron von Vaterham, the Silver Dragon, changed my name to help Joe pad his runtime, Cyrus, forgot to cancel, now I can't afford a motorcycle, True Tech Skin 940, Sensen Akake, forgot to cancel, now I can't afford a membership, Hinoka's #1 Saudi fan, Creed Warrior 23, Max Chef, Metro UK, Gooch do not speak for this chap, Totally Insane, Vendetta Autry, Black Cobra, Non Voila, Vox Alta, The Knight of Cypher, Cloaked Onyx, Neenox, Reborn Mew with the fan art, Nick, ML04, I own 6 copies of Click 2006 on Blu-ray, What the Fan Art, Joey, your first suit will arrive in 10 days, Wolf of Midnight, Stick Rider, The Cunt Connoisseur, Pig Venus, Kev Dog 1992, Steve Wynn Studios, Phil McCracken, The Beesoms, Ohm Gaming, Tariq Brown, Thomas Spokane, Hero Culture, Thornscade, Magan X, Everett Evans, Mr. Spawning No Threes, The Catalina Frickin' Y, Mixer Pow Pow, Wide Trouble, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, Gob Gobson, Rogue Winter 919, Bobby Hinner, Doug, Nick Z, Grimsy, Kej Hangman for Hire, Leal, Dil, No, Blow, Edge Knight 1789, Frost Crystal, Jimmy Chops, Biogenesis, Yeah, I Camso, Ian in Action, Floppy Pingus, Michael Musial, Mingaki, Kushka, The Scruffy Skull, Ghost Ho, Ryusagi, The Jojo 6, Fast Grow, Femtanga, Raptor Tim, Omna Steph 94, Mr. Self-Destruct, Blue Hook, Joey Masters videos faster than Sony does games. Oh my god, help me, the wasps have begun to attack. Snorlax and Disney ruins everything they touch. Jody Breeze, the Almond God, Max Fleur is L, Demetrius, Papa Giorno, McAdvertisement, Diego Garcia, He It's Maddie, Kim McKins, Boofner, I American Idiot, Rebel Blood 80, and Twain Horton, Joe, plug the Discord right now, PS you're a furry, discord.gg/doofus, Console Sims Tears, you didn't change my mind, Joe. Oh no, it's Justin, Randroid, Tony Wayne, Bloodline, Extreme the Wolf 7, Joey Scoops, Puddin' Tane, Joe Taco. I'm asking you once again to try the finals, Joe. Geekstar got 5090, he's gonna slap Griffin with it, Wannabe Hobo, Jidge, Westa, Roy Mastered, Bill at 310 Char, Rob C, Veg, The Groovy Banana, Kurt Nallus back, already doing a game dev degree at another uni, lol, everybody above me is a doofus. Man, there's a lot of you. And you know what? We're gonna get real stupid when we get back, okay? Stay safe, stay a doofus, make your name the dumbest thing possible before I get back, okay? Toodles.